welcome to our Air Transport Awards for 2020. We have a different setup this year due of the reasons that all we know really well. But we decided when that was possible to have this event organized physically in person and not virtually. We represent an industry that connects the people. Then we are the ones we have to show to everyone that we fly and will continue connecting the world. And of course this year these awards are more important than before, because we have to recognize all these people, organizations, companies that are resilient to unpredicted crises that affect not only our sector but the world over the last months. I will not speak longer, and I would like to invite for the first part of the awards, the Air Transport News Awards, Alexis Maras, the editor of ATN, to present the first three awards. Please, Alexis.
Thank you, Kostas. As every year, the ATN gives three awards, namely ATN Individual Award, ATN Corporate Award, and ATN International Organization Award. ATN team decided this year to give the ATN Individual Award to Abderahmane Berthe, Secretary General AFRAA, for his leadership in the African aviation.
Thank you. Sorry. Ah, yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for ATN to award me with this recognition for my actions at the helm of the African Airlines Association. I took office 2.5 years before, and I want AFRAA to be a leading organization in African air transport. And I want also here to thank the team of AFRAA, which is supporting me, the members, the partners, and the all stakeholders in the African aviation industry. This is my first visit out of Kenya, where we are based. As you know, the COVID-19 started, and all borders were closed since March. So I'm very happy to be here today and to meet with some leaders of the aviation industry globally. I would like to thank also my friend Kostas for inviting me and giving me this opportunity at your home place. And I'm very happy to be here. It's sunny, it's a very beautiful place. Thank you all for this award, and I will continue my effort with all stakeholders to strengthen the African aviation industry. Thank you very much. Merci.
ATN team decided this year to give the ATN Corporate Award to Genève Airport, one of the oldest airports in the world that this year celebrates 100 years. Please welcome Andre Schneider, CEO of Genève Airport.
Thank you very much. First of all, I have to assure you I haven't been 100 years with the Geneva airport. But just as a little side story, I'm only the 6th general director of the Geneva airport. I mean, there was one predecessor who actually lasted for over 30 years. So, thank you very much for this award, which I hope is also a sign, awarding an airport which has 100 years, that aviation will at least last for another 100 years. Because it's true, to celebrate your 100-year celebration in the middle of a COVID crisis is quite a special moment. We actually looked back in our history to understand when was the last time we were as hard hit. And that was actually during the Second World War, where actually civil aviation was totally grounded. So, thank you very much. I think Geneva Airport is among the 20 oldest airports. They are still a little bit older airports, but has been an important airport also towards the multinational system. Because for those who might perhaps not know, one reason to create an airport in Geneva in 1920 was actually to attract the Society of Nations to come to Geneva, and which also has allowed to continue within the European side of the UN in Geneva. So somewhere we see ourselves also as the airport of the multilateral system. And we still have a very important, even at the moment very reduced, multilateral activity with over 4,000 arrivals of heads of state and ministers. So thank you very much. We are very honored, and I speak really in the name of my colleagues. And as I said, we are currently celebrating our 100 years with the promise that we'll do everything that in 100 years from today someone else can celebrate 200 years of Geneva Airport. Thank you very much.
And ATN team decided this year to give the ATN International Organization Award to EUROCONTROL for its outstanding contribution to air transport. Please welcome Eamon Brennan, Director General of EUROCONTROL.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Good afternoon, everybody. I like to hear a helicopter. something positive. So first of all, I want to just say two things. It's EUROCONTROL, we're very happy to get this. It's more for the employees than me. It's always nice to get something, but it's important for two things I just want to mention. One, on the 18th of January this year, I signed off on the risk register for the European Air Traffic Network, and nowhere did it say the word pandemic. I've had this experience twice, because 10 years previously I signed off on a risk register and nowhere did it say the word volcanic ash. So we very quickly in aviation can get ourselves into a situation that we don't foresee, and it's how we respond to that is going to mark us apart. So I'm really pleased to see CEOs from Geneva Airport, Royal Dutch, KLM, the President of the Council of ICAO here today, because here's a reality. If we don't travel with all the restrictions of COVID tests and everything, then how can we ask our passengers to travel? So that's a really important thing. I'm so pleased to be at a gathering where I actually see people. I want to tell you one thing, I'm zoomed out, okay? I've had it up to here with Zoom and, you know, and I feel that there's no relationships. It's not a way to run society. So everybody in this industry has to work together to get people traveling, to get people meeting. Alexander de Juniac uses a word often that I quote. It is, you know, travel. It's the business of freedom. And if we all retreat into countries and close boundaries, then we're in trouble. And we'll discuss it later. And I'm sure Salvatore will mention it. But there is a leadership role needed here from ICAO as well. And that is, and the governments, that we have to get common standards to open up and get back on the road again. And we have to learn to live with this. So thanks to everybody. Particularly the people in the network manager will like this, and I'll give it to them on Monday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexis. And for the next round of awards, I would like to invite Jeff Poole, who is the chairperson of the Corporate Award Jury, but also president of Hermes, to present the two corporate awards and the Hermes Award. Jeff.
Great.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure, as Kostas was saying, as the president of Hermes, to give three awards today. The first one is for Airline of the Year, and we thought it should be more than a year, so we thought, what about 100 years? And it didn't take us long at that point to believe that KLM should be our Airline of the Year. I'm delighted to invite our good friend Pieter to come and accept the award on behalf of KLM.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff, for handing over this award, and to Kostas and Evgena, thank you very much for your wonderful hospitality here in this back garden. I'm not sure about the rest of the guests here, but I wish I would have a back garden like this, in a climate and an environment like this. So thank you for having us here in such a wonderful environment, and sort of opening your house for us here. Yeah, 100 years. Not to discredit the Geneva Airport, I think Schiphol is 101 or 102 years now. And indeed, KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, we achieved last year October, and we celebrated 100 years. That was in a very, very different time frame. We had probably 50,000 people visiting our hangars, visiting the aircraft, seeing everything around. That was really a sort of different time and age. No one was wearing any mouth caps, and people were just hugging and holding each other. And I tend to believe that we'll go back to that reality pretty soon when a vaccine or something has been found to deal with that. Reflecting on 100 years of aviation is simply impossible, and for KLM it has been really 100 years of pioneering, and will continue to do so going forward. My personal prediction is that the challenges the industry was facing are not anything less after this pandemic than will before, but we'll see some acceleration on some of the trends around sustainability, digitization, and more personalized travel for our customers. So let's see how we can use this situation in order to speed up some of the underlying trends. I think, as was mentioned by our friend from Africa, also for me this is not the first travel, but it's the first industry event since February, and thank you, Kostas, for organizing this. I think everything has been cancelled, and it would have been probably easy to cancel this one, but I share the words of Eamon. I'm fed up with Zooms, I'm fed up with Teams, I'm fed up by looking at the monitor and seeing people. It's much better to do it face to face, and I think the dinner last night was a good start of being together and seeing people face to face. And I guess that after a couple of hours, the restrictions of 4 people on the table could be sort of loosened to 5 or 6. Having said that, once again, thank you for giving me this award. I'll gladly share it with my 30,000 KLM colleagues, who would be very proud that 6 months after reaching 100 years, we have this award as the next step in our wonderful journey. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Pieter, and it certainly was a memorable 100 years of celebrations in Amsterdam. Kostas and I speak about that frequently. We now move on to surprise, surprise, Airport of the Year, and using the same sort of logic to not only find an excellent airport, one that's close to the heart of Katerina and myself as former residents of Geneva. We know the airport well, like it. So I'd like to invite Andre back up to get the second award. The fact that Andre arranged for me to have an exciting trip in a fire truck around Geneva Airport and be able to fire lots of foam and water at people had no influence on this award whatsoever. Andre.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you. So, as I said before, we do fully recognize that we have all the friends, and that's also good, so we can look up. And I must say, in the retake-off of our flights, KLM was an important partner for us and has also been flying through Geneva through the whole crisis. So we have to recognize that at the end, everyone has tried to keep the system alive, even if we had days where we had 150 passengers compared to the normal 50 to 60,000. So I'm very pleased to receive that one. I hope that it's not only because we have 100 years. I mean, that is a challenge to get 100 years, but we try also to look to the future, and I totally agree. I think this crisis needs to be inspiration to look at what we can do differently, but also what we can continue. I think it would be a big mistake if we would give up on our endeavor to be more sustainable and things like that. It is true, it will be more difficult because we might not have all the money we would like to have to do certain things, but we need to keep on going, because the next challenge which will await us is actually to demonstrate in a, I would say, increasingly aviation negative environmental environment, is actually to show that we have been working on that one for years, that we're serious about it, and that we're really going to work towards a emission low or even zero industry. I must also say thank you to Kostas and his teams and you all here, because it's true, we need to get together again, because we all run the challenge to be living in silos, because Zoom, WebEx, whatever, Skype, Teams or whatever you can use is never going to replace real exchange. And hence I would also like to recall for those who are interested, we still try to maintain the ACI Europe meeting in October in Geneva. I think even if we might have less participants, it will be important to have a moment to gather, share experiences, discuss a little bit, and also give mutual support, because this is a difficult time, whatever we see the light at the end of the tunnel or not. And I think we also need to continue to work to actually get a better aligned approach to it. I mean, Geneva is a 95% of its passengers airport for European destinations, but the mess between each European state taking decisions which are the best, not really coherent, at the worst totally opposite, is quite difficult, and frankly it has a terrible side effect. It makes people not ready to travel, not because they fear to be exposed to any risk, but they don't understand the rules anymore. So I think we have a real task also at hand to explain to our governments that we're living in a globalized world, whether we like it or not. And a globalized world cannot be decided by every state doing whatever he likes to do. So thank you for this award. I mean, we are very proud. I mean, we're a small, mid-sized airport which has a little bit of work to do to get a little bit updated. So we're not amongst those who win a lot of awards. So we're very pleased, we're very honored. But I think it's also really the time to get together and really push a little bit harder on those governments to really help to not destroy what we have achieved as a globalized world, because this is really at stake. So thank you very much, and all the best, and thank you for this great invitation.
Thank you, Andre. And the third award that I'm delighted to introduce is actually called the Hermes Award. Now, as you'll be aware, Hermes is an organisation of people, the leaders in aviation. We're very proud of that fact. So it's really appropriate that the Hermes Award this year goes to an outstanding leader in aviation. And I'm delighted that I'm going to invite Pieter Elbers back up again to accept the Hermes Award, this time on a personal basis. As you know, Pieter's the CEO of KLM. He inherited a very difficult job with not just running an airline in these times, but with considerable politics and other difficulties surrounding his role, which he's carried out in an absolutely exemplary way in our view. And KLM is very lucky to have Pieter as its CEO. So, Pieter, congratulations.
Thank you.
As we are both Hermes, then
okay.
Wow. Thank you. I prepared a long speech to give gratitude to my wife and all the support she gave me, but she will come later, so I'll spare you that part. Thank you for awarding me this award. I think you just said you're the 6th CEO at Geneva Airport in 100 years. I'm the 13th CEO at KLM in 100 years. That's an average of six years. It's not too bad. I think there's some European countries with more prime ministers in 20 years than we had CEOs in 100 years. I could of course not imagine that when I started with KLM 28 years ago, to be now at this role. And once again, I'm touched by it. It means a lot to me. It's very nice to be recognized like that. And I said to everyone in the teams and the organization, just do your best, and the rest will come automatically. And I had the pleasure of working with so many different people in so many different places, and even had the pleasure of working and living in this wonderful country a couple of years throughout my KLM life. So this is very nice of having this. Thank you for awarding me that, and I can encourage maybe the young boys to find a career in aviation, because there's going to be a future in aviation, also for youngsters. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Pieter. Now we move to always a very sentimental award for my family, as it carries the name of my late parents that some of you met in person, my mother, and it's the Katerina and George Iatrou Lifetime Achievement Award. We have the pleasure and honor to present this award Salvatore Sakitano, who is the president of ICAO Council. Salvatore, please.
Thank you very much, Kostas. I will have the opportunity to say some words later, but I wanted to tell you that this is not my first official trip after COVID-19, but it's my official trip since I was appointed as the president of ICAO. And I want to stress this point because unfortunately just after the start of my office in Montreal, we face the difficulties of COVID-19. So my task is to introduce the Lifetime Achievement Award that is granted to Anastasios Kokkinos. I learned that Kokkinos' name is Anastasios and not Tassos, as normally is known just a few years ago. Not recently, I know him since many, many years. He was born in Thessaloniki in 1953 and is married and has 2 daughters. Graduated from the National Technical University of Athens in 1976. I will not read everything, otherwise I will keep the time for this, but I wanted to stress 2 or 3 points. First of all, he was in 1983 starting his career in the civil aviation sector, and since 1988 has been serving at the Hellenic CAA in managerial position. Becoming in 2007 Director General of Air Transport and accumulating extensive experience in this field and in international field. And indeed is well known at international level because he's been participating in many, many international events and meetings representing the Hellenic Civil Aviation Authority in ICAO, in EASA, EUROCONTROL, and ICAO. And I want also to mention that you know that Greece is a council member elected last year, and Greece has had a representative in the Navigation Commission appointed in 2016. Well, Tassos has been, let's say, a sort of director in this process in order to promote this candidature, and this is an achievement for him. So, congratulations, Tassos, for this achievement, and now I believe that
Dear Jeff, dear Kostas, dear all, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the honor to being selected to receive the Katerina and George Iatrou Lifetime Achievement Award and join the group of such distinguished aviation personalities who have taken this award in the past. The fact that this award is presented to me by my long-life friend Salvatore Sakitano during his tenure as ICAO Council President is, and in the present day, in the presence of so many leaders of aviation field, is an added honor. It is a privilege to be recognized at the tail end of one's career for lifetime accomplishments. The fact that this ceremony coincides with the last few months of my service in Hellenic Civil Aviation Authority makes it even sweeter. The 31st of December, day of my retirement, when a cycle of more than 37 years of fruitful career in aviation, full of challenges and rewards, will be closing, is approaching. If I were given the chance to do it all over again, I would not change a single decision I made which led me to the point I am standing right now. I have faced many challenges throughout my career, but each one of them has only strengthened me to become the professional I am today. But I did not make this journey here alone. Receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award would not have been possible without the opportunities that Hellenic Civil Aviation Authority has offered to me during all these years of my service. The inspiration I have received from my seniors and my colleagues, from whom I have derived the strength and challenge to challenge myself and perform better to each stage. I am strongly grateful for this high recognition. It's a great feeling to be up here with this award in my hand. Every time I look at it, I will be reminded of this moment and how much it means to me. Thank you very much.